The Four Horsemen build theme for November 30th is Cyberpunk. For this month's build, I started with a Hot Wheels Tesla Cybertruck. The Cybertruck was disassembled and the front and rear posts were drilled and tapped for 256 screws. The Zamac body was then stripped of its tampos and clear coat. The first thing that needed to be fixed was to get the whole Cybertruck lowered to the ground. New axle holes were drilled into the axle supports on the bottom of the interior, using some low-profile Real Rider wheels to get the spacing, after which the axle supports were shortened significantly. I started to shave down the axle housings on the base, but when I saw how much of the base needed to be removed, I stopped and added some reinforcement rails inside the base to keep the front and rear bumpers attached and aligned. At this point, the new axle holes had to be drilled through the reinforcement rails to test fit the new wheels. I then used a rotary tool to remove about 1/32 of an inch of plastic from the inside of the fender tops so the wheels could tuck up into the fenders and still be able to roll. After shaving the axle housings until they were within 1/16 of an inch of the bottom of the base, I was able to reassemble the Cybertruck to check out the new ride height. I think the lowered ride height made quite a difference and really made the Cybertruck more cyberpunky. The next step in further punking out the Cybertruck would be to add working headlights, taillights, and underbody glow. To accomplish this, I would use some very tiny LEDs. The translucent rectangle in the center of the picture is one of the LEDs. The black rectangle is a resistor used to limit the current driving the LED. Each LED would require its own resistor. These LEDs and resistors are designed to be mounted on the surface of a circuit board. The LEDs would be wired using 28-gauge wire. The LEDs would be powered by a pair of 1.5-volt button cells fitted inside the Cybertruck. Copper wire and sheet was used to fabricate the battery contacts and to create a switch to turn the LEDs on and off. Part of the switch is a 256 button head screw that can be screwed in to turn the lights on and screwed out to turn them off. There are 6 green LEDs fitted to the bottom of the interior to provide the underglow. The sides of the base were relieved about 3/32 of an inch to provide clearance for the LEDs. There are 4 yellow LEDs for headlights and 4 red LEDs for taillights. During final assembly, a small block of foam rubber will be placed between the Cybertruck body and the upper battery contact to provide sufficient pressure to maintain the electrical contact. To get the light from the LED head and tail lights out of the Cybertruck body, lenses were made from 20 thousandths thick clear polycarbonate. These lenses would be fitted into slots that had been cut into the Cybertruck body. The edges of the lenses were sanded with very fine sandpaper to get a frosted surface that would help diffuse the light. To give my Cybertruck a bit of a steampunk feel, I created front and rear trim bars from square brass wire. To continue the steampunk theme, I went with copper as the exterior color. In this photo, the headlight lens and front trim bar have been installed. And here we can see the taillight lens and rear trim bar installed. For a final touch of steampunk, I designed and 3D printed this pipe manifold to go on the rear deck lid of the Cybertruck. Here's the original Hot Wheels Cybertruck. And here's my steampunk Cyberpunk Cybertruck. Thanks for watching. I hope you like the build.